Welcome to our fourth edition of Our Take. This is Michelle Kessel-Harbart. I'm Kim Brown. Today we're going to discuss Roth IRA conversions, which is essentially a conversion from a traditional IRA into a Roth IRA. So without further ado, Michelle, what do you say we get started?
That's right, let's get started. So Roth conversions can be a really good strategy to reduce your tax bill both before and during retirement. The rule of thumb on the best time to complete a Roth conversion is when you're in a lower tax bracket now when you do the conversion versus later when you're needing to take out those funds out of your retirement account.
So during this coronavirus crisis, presumably people could be in a better position this year than they were last year or maybe next year.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
current
right.
market conditions when the market declines is a really good strategy to use for a Roth conversion. And we're going to get into not only the best time to do it during a market decline, but also 4 other reasons why you may want to complete a Roth conversion. So first, as you mentioned, on what is a Roth conversion? A Roth conversion, as you mentioned, is where you convert money from a tax-deferred account, retirement account, such as a traditional IRA, to a Roth IRA. The amount that you convert from the traditional to the Roth is taxed at your regular tax rate. However, once it's in the Roth, that money grows tax-free and you can withdraw it tax-free. So
Wow.
a really good strategy for building up those account balances.
Yeah. Well, that's beginning to make some sense here. Can anyone convert a Roth?
Yes, however, as with most things, there's advantages and disadvantages. And some investors convert because they are unable to contribute to a Roth during their working years because of income limits. As you mentioned, the current market environment makes an even greater argument to initiate a Roth conversion. So let's take a look at those 5 reasons on why a conversion may make sense for you. So the markets have dropped, and this means that your cost of conversion is lower, and you can convert a larger percentage of your portfolio. IRA values are lower than they were just a few months back, yet we expect some recovery at some point. So converting now, when values are lower, will cost less in tax now and allow future recovery growth to go untaxed. This means that you can take advantage of good timing. Converting to a Roth during a market downturn can provide a significant tax advantage. So let's look at an example. For simplicity, let's say you have a traditional IRA that held a stock, an ETF, or a fund with a position balance of $100,000. That's 1,000 shares at $100 per share. And this was prior to the recent market decline. Now, let's say, for example, that same holding in the IRA is down 30%. So the balance is now $70,000. You still have 1,000 shares, but they're now worth $70. This is an important fact to remember. Now let's see how this plays out if you convert some of this into a Roth IRA. Say you convert 25,000 when shares are $100 each. You convert 250 shares or 25% of your position. However, after the market decline, that same 25,000 represents 357 shares at $70 per share, or 35% of your position. In both situations, you're converting 25,000 and will pay income tax on 25,000. But in the second scenario, converting after your account value has fallen means you're converting a larger portion of your portfolio. You're converting a larger portion at the same cost.
Mm-hmm.
So what does this look like when the market goes back up and we see a recovery? Again, for simplicity, let's say that we see a great recovery and your position is now worth $150 per share. That means that same 25,000 you converted is now worth $53,550 in your Roth IRA that can be withdrawn tax-free versus $37,500 if you would have converted it prior to the market decline. This gives you an additional $16,050 in tax-free growth.
Wow.
Right. Another reason to do a Roth conversion is historically low tax rates.
Mm-hmm.
And due to the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, we have some of the lowest tax rates in recent history. And this could be an especially good time for investors who are in the gap years to take advantage of this type of a conversion at this time.
So what do you mean by gap years?
Right, so the gap years are defined by those years when an individual has retired but is not yet collecting Social Security or required minimum distributions, also known as RMDs. This typically means that these individuals have less taxable income and possibly using taxable accounts for their distributions to supplement the retirement income until Social Security and RMDs kick in, which will increase that taxable income. So basically what you're doing is you're filling up a tax bracket using Roth conversion and possibly pay little to no taxes to convert those funds to a Roth, which will then grow tax-free.
So we're able to then help our clients determine in advance what an optimal time might be, or at least we can look at their tax returns and sort of determine when they should be doing this.
Right. We just need some simple pieces of information from clients to determine the most optimal time to do those Roth conversions. And in some cases, it may not make sense. There's a lot of different aspects that go into this on when you should and shouldn't do a Roth conversion. A third reason for a Roth conversion is the benefit of your heirs. The passing of the recent Secure Act means that inherited IRAs must now be fully distributed within 10 years. That means that heirs inheriting IRAs will pay taxes over a shorter period of time and possibly at higher tax rates given their tax environment. Converting to a Roth may avoid higher tax rate for your beneficiaries, and an inherited Roth may still be distributed within 10 years, but there are no tax consequences.
So that 10 years is a change from the prior
It sure
tax
is,
regime.
right. That was part of the Secure Act.
So when does this make the most sense?
A Roth conversion makes the most sense when an IRA owner is in a lower tax bracket than the beneficiary, and especially for larger account balances, where the beneficiary will need to distribute that money within those 10 years. And here's an example of that. Here we have a traditional IRA owner who has a 12% marginal tax rate prior to doing a Roth conversion of $100,000. And in this example, we're assuming that this account is worth $1 million and that the inherited IRA beneficiary is going to have to deplete this IRA within 10 years. So we're looking at $100,000 worth of additional taxable income to the inherited IRA beneficiary. So in doing such, if the traditional IRA owner was to take that $100,000 Roth conversion, their marginal tax rate would move up from 12% to 24%. If the inherited IRA beneficiary was to take that same $100,000 at their 32% marginal tax rate, it would increase them 35%. So as you can see, this one-time Roth conversion versus inherited IRA beneficiary distribution is a savings of $12,806. However, if you multiply that by 10, that's a savings over 10 years of $128,060. Again, this is an illustration. It's for informational purposes only. It's very simplified. It doesn't include other taxes such as state, local, Social Security taxability, surtaxes. It's just federal taxes only. But it just gives you an example of the difference in savings from the traditional IRA owner to the inherited beneficiary. A fourth reason is the traditional IRAs are subject to those required minimum distributions, and Roth IRAs are not. As such, Roth IRAs can substantially increase your net worth over time versus the traditional IRAs. And the final fifth reason is due to the current economic environment. You have little to no taxable income. That's a great time to do a Roth conversion. It may be a good time for a Roth conversion where you can fill up those tax brackets that you're currently in and pay little to no taxes.
Wow. So is a Roth IRA conversion all or none?
As a matter of fact, no. You can convert your entire IRA if you'd like, or you can do this by converting in chunks or a series over time, which is called a Roth ladder. And this is an efficient way of doing a Roth conversion and trying to fill up, again, those tax brackets for Roth conversions.
I'm always looking for other considerations and pitfalls to consider.
Yes, definitely. There are considerations to take a look at when doing a Roth conversion. And I would say one of the number one reasons is if the conversion will generate a tax bill and you don't have the funds to pay that tax bill out of your traditional IRA with funds outside the IRA, then it's probably not a good idea to do a Roth conversion. If your marginal tax rate will decrease in the future, then it might be beneficial to delay a conversion. If you're depleting the funds over time for cash flow purposes, it may not make sense. And finally, if the traditional IRA is to be left to a charity that won't owe any taxes on the funds, then there's no reason to do a Roth conversion. So there are a lot of nuances to the tax implications of Roth conversions that go beyond the scope of this video. And if you have any questions or you want to discuss specific situations, please contact us, or you can always reach out to your CPA or tax advisor.
And we're willing to, and often do, work with the CPAs hand in
We
hand
sure
on
do.
this.
Right, we've
Okay.
done that with many of our clients, CPAs, as far as work together on developing the right strategy for them.
So I guess in closing, taking advantage of markets like we're in now, where valuations are down, can work to your advantage in the long term. So this is a classic example, and again, Michelle, thank you for rounding this up. That's a lot of material to digest, but thank you very much.
You're welcome. Take care, everybody.
Yeah, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.